not too great, huh?
Got a sat drop again.
I really want to find this yellow mouth perch. Sounds interesting. Its mouth has to be open.
Audio check, I1.
Loud and clear. Sorry, it looks like you guys got bumped off again.
That's okay.
Yep, just want to make sure we're back.
Bridge.
Nav, can I get a check on how far it is to that first feature?
Yeah, that target is about 500 meters away.
Okay.
I think we're going to be up maybe 10, 20, 30, maybe 40 meters shallower, 50.
Okay.
Hose is hanging out.
Jenny, I see your question. Do you want to try to transect on the way to the wall? Or wait till we get to the wall to transect? Okay. Well, if the pilots are amenable, we can go ahead and start our first transect straight away on our way over to the first waypoint.
Okay.
All right,
Do we need to take Niskin samples before or after? How does it work?
Transect's mostly just the video, and it's a steady altitude, steady speed for about a 200-meter distance. So no sampling unless we see a pirate treasure chest.
Okay. How often do those come along?
So what watch leads, what time do you want to do it, or do you want me to make that call? You want to synchronize it to a time, or?
It does not need to be synchronized to a time. My video is pretty sporadic at this point. So I'm going to try to let you guys make the call, but we need a 200-meter distance at a good speed. So
Okay. I think we got plenty of time. So we'll start at 5 past according to our clock. So that's in 10 more seconds, and we have plenty of time and distance. So we'll start at 17:05 UTC.
Copy that.
That is mark now.
There's a
Just
grooved
for
tanner crab.
everyone's reference, I'll mark it in the chat as well as in the event log, so we have double references. But that start transect was 17:05.
Brilliant, thank you.
So this will be T1.
And we're just looking to get 200 meters in a line. If it goes over the 10 to 15 minute time frame, that's fine.
Okay.
Some thorny heads, looks like both long spine and short spine.
Are we seeing the same species of jellies, or are there lots of different species here? I'm not sure.
There's only two of the thorny heads here on the West Coast. There's long spine, which are deeper, and the short spine, which live a little shallower.
But the jellies.
There's another species of Sebastopol.
I was curious about the jellies too. The thorny heads are fabulous. There's, I guess, two of them right there too. There's so many gelatinous creatures in the water. I'm wondering if they're the same thing or lots of different ones.
I think those opaque guys are probably all the same species. Just all successful around here.
Got it. There's a great shot of one.
Yeah, right. I like when their bells are like oriented towards us.
Absolutely. So Eric, are the different thorny heads, are they pretty closely related? Was it hard to tell the difference between the two, or it's pretty obvious?
It's hard to tell in video. It's much easier to tell when you have one in your hand. The short spines, one of the ways we tell them apart is you squeeze them a little bit to get them to open their mouths. And if it's an all-white mouth on the inside, it's a short spine. And if it has dark patches on the inside, it's a long spine. And so, as with our quest for the yellowmouth, these guys can be kind of tricky to tell apart sometimes. So the name comes from their third dorsal spine. The long spines have a longer spine, and the short spines have a more uniform dorsal fin.
Got it.
There is another species of Sebastolobus that's over in the, I guess, Western Pacific. It's fished in Japan. So there are 3 species in that genus.
Okay, and the elusive yellowmouth that we so badly want a picture of its mouth, is that closely related?
That is closely related to the Pacific Ocean perch. So it's in the Sebastes group. There are 80 different species-ish in that group. And over 60 of those occur here on the West Coast.
These are a member of the scorpionids, like the scorpion fish relatives. Is that what these?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what does the winning photographer get who gets a picture of a yellowmouth mouth?
I don't know. We'll have to have Tom Leidig put up a prize.
Okay. Undying admiration, I'm sure.
That's another one. When you have the fish in your hand, you're looking at it and you think you have a Pacific Ocean perch, but it's just a little bit different. And then somebody had the idea to look at the inside of its mouth, and they have a very distinctive yellow inside of their mouth. So, and apparently they're genetically different too. So,
is it a dangerous
sure
operation? Opening fish's mouth?
Usually not. I wouldn't recommend it for sharks, but
Got it.
rockfish don't come up very lively from a trawl.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hagfish.
So Erica, you mentioned being part of the trawl surveys. What's the purpose of taking all this data?
They use the data in stock assessments and then use the stock assessments to set limits for commercial fleets. It's to monitor the size and age and sex ratios of several different commercial species.
What's happening here?
And it's also...
Whoa.
What's happening?
What is that?
Oh. What is going on?
We lost topside.
I'm gonna stop tracking this line.
Yeah, we lost. Oh man, can you watch the spins?
Yep.
You see how many spins there were?
There was at least one full one.
So I'm going this way around, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna mark this line as aborted.
Come up on my delta a little because I think the tether's pulled down by you.
Okay, so is that back to the right spot? I think.
I believe so.
I saw one full wrap.
Got all kinds of mud on us now. That was awesome.
Watch leads, how do you want to proceed? Do you want to abort this transect, or do you want to try and continue?
We're only 70 meters from the start of this transect, and we still have 400.
Well, I need to get all this mud off.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, we can start over as soon as we get straightened out.
Okay.
Abort this one and start a second one.
All right.
Gotta get shake off the mud here.
Olympic Coast Sanctuary is known for its mud.
Well, we lost our topside control, which I had no control over the vehicle for a minute. Like the computer crashed. So that's why it did what it did.
We're getting like 1 in 100 problems
But it's an exciting day for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like those kind of exciting days.
Yeah, a little too exciting.
Yeah, we got a lot of mud.
So one of the exciting things about the Patrol Survey, Heather, is that it's cooperative with commercial fishermen. We charter commercial fishing boats to do the actual fishing, and the scientists aboard do the data collection. So it's been an excellent example of cooperative science here on the West Coast.
That's a great relationship. And how many fishermen do you tend to get involved in each survey?
We use 4 different chartered vessels each year, and they do the border to border in pairs, and they do that usually 10-day legs. So they kind of bounce down the coast and are able to stop in, get groceries, get gas, swap crews, and end up down in Southern California 2 months later.
Sounds like a great situation. I didn't realize that. I'm glad to hear it.
And the fishers are really invested in the conservation of these environments.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yes. And
it's always really cool to see that interface.
They are the experts out there as far as catching fish and knowing what happens. A lot of times they spend a lot more time on the ocean than sometimes science is able to. It's pretty expensive to get ship time and come out and do things like this. But if you do it every day as your job, you learn a lot about the environment. So it's
Absolutely.
nice to have
and
their
who tends to be the observers that go out on fishing vessels? Is that tend to be other fishermen, or is that people trying to learn about fisheries management? Who tends to do that job?
fisheries observers are assigned to commercial fishermen now to quantify bycatch and just keep track of the items being items of fish that are caught and not sellable. So just to quantify discard in the commercial fleet. And it's a random assignment as to when you will carry an observer, and it's only a certain percentage of your trips every year. But they're just an independent observer.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever
but the Patrol
done
Survey,
that role too?
I did. I got started out here as an observer in the original observer program on the West Coast. The concept pilot program long time ago. That was more of a voluntary thing, so the boats would accept an observer without being mandated to carry an observer, and just to figure out how we were going to collect the data and how we were going to do coverage and that sort of thing. So it was way back in the beginning.
I've always been curious, what do observers track? Is it just fish discards? Do they count corals and sponges too? Like, what do they look at?
The observer program here on the West Coast has been actually quite prolific in providing Meredith with coral samples and sponge samples. You can imagine dragging a trawl across the ocean floor, you're going to encounter some of these sessile organisms that can't get out of the way, and they are instructed to preserve and document what comes up. And I know Meredith has gotten many, many samples from them that she's working her way through. So, but it is to mostly quantify discard, but they also are able to take biological samples from some of the discard, so science can gather some information on that. Also the corals and sponges and any other special collections that anybody's looking for. To advance fisheries science on the West Coast. So I know somebody locally here in Oregon is doing a project on lampreys. So she has asked people to watch out for both lampreys and document lamprey wounds on fish, on larger fish. So the observers have been providing her with a lot of data.
Excellent. Also sounds like a great relationship.
Yeah, the observers probably spend the most time out of any one group out on the ocean with the commercial fishermen, out of any science group or any.
Yeah, I can. Trying to clear up the trails.
So they're able to collect a lot of data.
Well, I guess if we're moving along, we can.
All right.
Keep the
mud
behind
ready?
us.
Yeah, as soon as you're in position. Do we watch leads? Do we need to move a certain distance from that aborted target, or can we start a new one?
I would say go ahead and start a new one because we didn't finish the last one.
All right.
So
okay.
I'm sure somebody will correct me if that is incorrect, but let's go ahead and do it.
I'm going to call this Transect 2.
Okay.
To avoid any confusion.
Yep.
Yes, please.
Yep. So that started at 1725 on the dot.
Great. So we are in Quinault Canyon in the Olympic Coast National Marine Sanctuary, and we are just starting a transect, a science transect, moving toward the canyon wall to try to find some corals and sponges. This transect's going to be about 200 meters, and we'll have folks reviewing this video to count and identify all of the fun things that we come across.
Erica, does everything on a transect get counted, or just fish, coral, sponges?
Fish, coral, sponges, I think, is a first pass, but that depends again on, and habitat is quantified and identified throughout the transect. This would be mud, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Each habitat gets a 2-letter designation depending on what the percentages are. Yeah, we may want to restart this transect when we're ready to.
Yeah,
Oh, we're waiting on. Are we waiting on the ship to move?
Yet.
Okay. Is it possible to change the start of the transect to
Yep.
when we do start moving?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like things are moving now.
Yeah, Argus should be doing it.
Sometimes there's a delay when you've got the ship on the surface and the 2 ROVs at the end of a very long leash. There's got to be a lot of synchronization in getting all things moving the same direction at the same time.
Okay, looks like we're starting to go.
There we go. Bye, Thorny Head. Hagfish.
So have we restarted transect 2 now? Sorry about that, guys. That was my dog.
Do we
Yes.
want to say 1028
That's
or
yeah.
1728?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, there were some Panickia sea cucumbers back there, the more translucent to white ones. These guys are very soft bodied.
Nav, what's the speed on our moves?
We should be going 0.3 knots on
Okay.
UP. So.
Just double checking.
Yeah. Do you have
Yeah,
some room
looks
on
like
your delta with Argus, or?
past a snakehead eel pout. So we're right in that area where long spines and short spines overlap quite a bit. So it will be challenging for them to discern the two when we go through and count these videos.
And that's around 1,000 to 1,100 meter range.
What's happening here?
A little bit of relief coming up. Mud relief, I guess.
Is that a grenadier or a flat nose down there? So I was saying, Heather, we tend to delineate habitat using a 2-letter code, and it's dependent on percentage of what's in the field of view, and it usually calls out things like mud or sand or boulder or cobble. It's pretty specific about different rock sizes. We have gravel, pebble, cobble, and boulder, depending on how big the rocks are. Is that a little sponge there, a mound sponge? Couple?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a slope for a bit on our port side.
That's fine with us as long as we're able to keep moving along it.
Some small octocorals, I think maybe Gersemia.
Gersemia, yeah. Deep sea sole. I have to admit they're one of my favorites too. I want to wallpaper a room in that pattern.
It is very pretty. And both the males and females have the same coloration. Do fish have that sort of male? Do many fish have that sort of male-female difference?
Not very many on the West Coast that I can think of.
I can only think of sheep heads, but those are shallow water, I think.
Kelp greenling do. Males are blue and females are yellow.
I'm heaving a good amount.
Yeah.
Like 3-4 meters sometimes.
Deep water eel pout there. More thorny heads. I'm glad we got at least 2 sponges and 1 coral in the transect here.
Absolutely.
More of the snakehead eel polyps. They're fun. They have a, if you look at their mouths, they have a green, iridescent, almost lipstick on.
Never thought about fish with lipstick before. It's a great image.
Fish with lipstick.
It'd be a good band name.
Ooh, I like it.
I'm going to reset you real quick.
Okay. You can see it on the one in the center screen, just the shiny around the mouth. It's funny, each species has its own little quirk that you can pick out and use to identify that one specifically. You look for spots or spines or bars or different things.
So Erica, would you call fish identification your superpower?
I wouldn't, because honestly, I work with people who are really good at it, and I'm kind of mediocre, so I'm impressed by I'm impressed by the folks who do it professionally.
Steve, I wanted to ask you too, but I think we got cut off Bishop communication. What would you call your area of expertise? What are you really really interested in seeing this dive and can identify your favorite thing to identify?
Yeah, I'm personally I'm interested in the coral diversity, but yeah, it's hard because my background is mostly in really hard bottom terrain like seamounts and crust communities. So I'm not ultra familiar with all the northwest coral species, but it's all coming back to me pretty quickly. But yeah, I think as we get into some of the more steeps that are coming up after waypoint T, we might start to see more exposed hard bottom or even just consolidated mud bottom that would permit more attached fauna.
Okay, so crusty coral communities.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see any crusts here, but that would be really unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kurt just brought up another member of the Fish with Lipstick band.
Excellent. Getting a full band together.
One of the Southern California rockfish species called a treefish is this beautiful black and yellow striped fish with red lipstick.
Wow. Well, Kurt, I did as instructed. I looked it up. I Googled treefish, and there are some great pictures of that lipsticky fish, both in and out of the water. My goodness. I used to work at an aquarium when I was in high school, and we had one treefish that did not particularly look like it was wearing lipstick. So now I feel disappointed and cheated about that. But it did hang upside down all the time under this rock in the kelp forest tank that we had. And I just love the fish that just always wants to be upside down. That's pretty cool.
Yanked a lot.
So what was the swell height when you guys went in this morning?
It's probably close to 3 meters. You know, I'd get a good set that comes through between 2 and 3 meters.
No,
And,
Al turned one of the cameras and it looked impressive.
yeah, there were a few good rolls last night. How far are we into this transect, Nev?
I think it's 7.5. Yeah, you want to reset?
Okay.
Oh, no. Not making much headway here.
I know.
Is there a big current?
It doesn't seem like. We're getting a lot of heave though.
Yeah, we're about 70 meters. A crow's flight.
Can you pan down and see what happened with the tether?
About as far as I can pan down, but
So these thorny heads are ambush predators. There's no light down at this depth other than what we provide with Herc and Argus. So they just camp out here on the mud and wait for something to stumble by. And we found some of the big short spines with large tanner crabs in their stomachs.
Do you think they're eating the crabs after the crabs have died, or are they actually killing them?
I would guess that they're actually finding them and grabbing them.
That is impressive. And tanner
Yes,
crabs are
but
most of the ones we've seen so far?
The bigger orange ones, yes, with the wide legs. But if we see a large short
really
spine,
hard.
What?
Boy, I'm having to drive ahead really hard, 100%.
the tether's really taut, pulled back, even though we're like on top of each other. It's weird.
Yeah. Are we about done with this?
No.
No.
Steve, the goal in total is 200 meters?
Yeah, our goal is 200 meters. If we can get there.
Much more?
I mean, according to HiPAC, we've gone 80 meters.
I'll leave it to the watch leads to make the call on what they want to do. They're discussing with the shore side now to figure out what the plan is.
Along. It's just sometimes the heave is giving us a little sedimentation. These gelatinous guys are persistent around here.
Okay. So is this the direction you would move toward the wall?
Yeah,
also?
it is. I mean,
So
it's
progress, it's not going to improve
so I mean, once we get on the
if
ridge, maybe it will be a little less prone to sediments. But this first target, you know, the first part of this dive plan was a kind of gradual march up the hill, not really orthogonal to the, you know, not really up slope. So
right.
we have another 200 meters to that first target, and then I think it starts to get a little more.
We're still going to be moving like this even if we break off transect.
Yes, exactly.
Control.
Okay.
Yep.
Control.
Yeah, we're kind of coming up along the ridge, but it looks like the ridge extends out here. So, and then once we're on top, we're just keeping along the ridge.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But okay, I think we should probably break off transect here and not have to worry about that.
Okay.
While we're trying to get over that way.
Yeah. All right, we can call the end of that 1748.
Just decrease one level of difficulty.
Man.
Do you just lose control again?
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
We haven't moved much.
What? Yeah, no,
I'm driving full on.
I know, his ship's not moving.
Not going.
I mean, ship's moving, but Argus has been.
I know. It's
steadfast.
just Argus is under, and I don't want him to get too ahead. Him.
See?
You come down?
Yeah.
Maybe there's a control issue with the.
Yeah, because I'm not using much hydraulics.
Yeah.
Full tilt.
Are you still able to move forward?
No.
Not at all. All right. I might just.
We need to sort this out.
Yeah.
See how Argus's tether is like straight vertical back? It seems pretty tight too.
Yeah. Richard, which direction your camera's pointed there?
I'm pointed straight heading as you, so I think we're.
Wait, your
Argus
camera?
is slightly.
Your camera is pointed what? Down?
Oh, my camera's pointed down, but yeah, but my heading is the same as you.
I'm under you.
Yeah.
All right, we need to stop and sort out what.
Yeah, the bridge has stopped. I can move us back if we need, but yeah, We're just having a little problem with the controller.
Well, and the cloud picked up a lot of mud when we lost control there.
It's all right.
Okay, we need to get under and look at the tank.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring.
Are you all stopped?
We're all stopped, but if you can't move forward, I'm gonna just bring us back 5 or 10 in the opposite bearing. But
no, I can go back.
Oh,
I
okay,
can't go
fine.
forward. So there's something amiss here. So much dirt.
Lots of dirt to spare, I guess.
Can you point down?
I am all the way down.
That all the way down?
Yep. Full tilt. I can go a little more.
Yeah. Herc is behind Argus right now.
Yeah,
So
but that's not by much, you know?
No, I know.
The tether's out.
That is.
Man, there's so much mud on there. Yeah, I can't make forward progress.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
It's almost as if the tether's stuck on something.
That would be bad.
Like, see how on the Argus butt cam it's pulled taut like all the way back? It's almost like I've never seen that.
Underneath.
Just watching the meso for Argus.
All this mud is really annoying. I can go back, I can go sideways, I can't go forward. can't drive forward. We need to back up.
Yeah, I'm backing right now. I'm just watching off that ledge. Let me ease up. Yeah, I think it's going to take you about a minute to feel this. Are you just backing up for visibility?
Well, I want to get so I can see the tether. And see
yeah, no, I know.
So, visibility is pretty bad. We have all this mud that we're carrying around with us. Okay, can you spin around and try to look at me?
Yep.
There we go.
I think it's just going. It's fighting to turn and not turning. I'll try to go the other way.
Come down a little bit. Oh. Delta's changing a lot.
Jake, I'm coming towards Herc right now, so.
Okay.
So you know.
I hope we're not hung up on something.
No, I'm just